The voice of college football with a second voice tonight. Our first link was apparently bad, and Alonzo1219 failed twice trying to jump on. So this is his second time here, and he's apparently calling me. Let's see what happens here. Hey, Zoe, everybody can hear you. We're on here live. What's going on?
I don't know what's going on. Everything you send me is saying couldn't join the chat. Every time I try to click on it, I click on the join my call, click onto it, and it couldn't join chat. And then it says hit the OK button.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. I have no idea. Everyone you send me, it does the exact same thing. Couldn't join chat.
Couldn't join the chat. I'm not coming up with a good remedy.
But it has the picture on there and everything. Has my picture, has my email, but it's saying couldn't join chat. I have no idea what that is.
All right. So the first two.
It's not giving you no other option. It's not giving you any other option. Nothing.
So the first two were the same link. This third one was a different link. Let me try that one again.
Yeah. I have no idea why it's doing it.
Here's another one. Everybody's just.
I don't know if it's something wrong with my email. What the freak?
So here comes another one.
Another one just came to me 648. Inbox. View details.
Okay, folks, anybody on the line? This is the behind the scenes here.
Still not doing it. You're still not. I have no idea what the freak is going on.
Yeah, I don't know if that's me or if that's you. I don't know. I can't.
It can't be you.
Well, probably not. But I can't say that it's never happened before. But it has happened before, not just once in a million times or whatever.
Can't sync data. Not enough. I don't know. There's something. I don't know if that's something to do with my. Oh my goodness! What you do is go back on. I'm gonna go on the chat and talk, and I'm gonna see if I can get on. If I can't get on, I'm gonna text you. But I'm about to figure out I have no idea what's going on. It has to be me, but I have no idea what it is. I'm having all kinds of technical BS happen to me lately.
I hear you.
I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. I'm aggravated now.
Yeah.
And I really want to come on. I want to jump about Mark Richt and some of these fans that's starting to aggravate the brakes off me.
All right, I was going to ask you about him.
Yeah, that's what I want to get on. I'm gonna go on the chat, but I'm about to figure out why I can't get. Tatiana, come here. I'm about to have you send it to my daughter's phone. I'm gonna try to get on to her phone.
Okay.
So, give me. What is your email address? Bring me a phone. I gotta do a show tonight, and I can't get on through mine. So, what is your email address? That's your phone? Yeah, that's because I gotta go. That has to go to the phone number. Do they need to go to the phone number? Email or phone number? Can they go either way?
I don't know about that. I've never sent it to a phone number. Fred's telling us.
My daughter's email number.
Okay.
I'm gonna get on her phone.
Okay.
It is. What is it again? Hold on. 100.
Okay, hang on. I have to hold four things. Hang on just a second. Oh, I'm going to send this. Wait a minute. I'm going to send this to a phone number.
No, that's email.
Oh, okay. All right. I got to kind of put you down here. Hang on. All right, so I can copy and paste all this stuff.
Okay. I'm so sorry, Mark.
That's all right. Where are we sending this?
So my daughter's email is 100 26782 at richland2.org.
Okay, I'm sorry. At what? Okay, I got you. Okay. All right. I just sent that, and I swung the mic around so nobody'd hear the address there. Okay.
There's always something. I'm telling you, I'm having the worst luck when it comes. Tucker, hurry up.
I've been there. I've been there with the technology issues that people can't figure out.
I'm having the worst luck, man. I can't get the new system I got working. I can't. It's just annoying. Everything is going wrong for me right now.
All right, so you work on that, Zoe. I'm going to answer some questions here, and you let me know if you're having any luck, and if you're not having luck, we'll just talk right over the phone.
Okay, I'm about to get in right now. You see right here?
All right, Fred on the line, machine unit on the line.
I'm about to join a call now.
Leon Hurricanes on the line. All right, that's good news. Ryan, how you doing today? Joseph Holmes, I appreciate everybody hanging out. Machine unit exclusive behind the scenes footage. Yeah, that's about what we got. Look at that. There he is.
That's me in the background. So, Touching, I'm on live. Move. What's going on, Mark? Yeah, she said that I had to jump on her device because I have no idea what the freak is going on with mine. So, just aggravating me today. But we're on. Can you see me?
Yeah, I got you. Got you good. I hear you.
Okay. Good deal. Her Note 2 saved my Note 2.
Technology.
I mean, her Note 8 saved my Note 8.
Technology coming through after, going 0 for 3, and then it finally comes through. So it's hitting about 250. All right.
I was kind of paying attention to the chat a little bit. So let people know I was trying to get on, but I couldn't get on. So that's definitely my fault. Not Mark Rogers' fault, y'all. That's all on me.
Well, there's not a whole lot to the chat at this point, but hopefully some people will stick around and we'll start to get some numbers in here. So I want to remind everyone, voice of college football right here, Mark Rogers TV. I bring on great guests like Zoe. So you got to join him at Alonzo1219, the U family. If anybody out there, I'm guessing most of you know about Zoe, know about what he brings to the table. But if you don't, it's Alonzo1219 here at YouTube, and he's got a contest. Listen to what kind of guy this is. He is sponsored my first contest. So swag is on the line. Whether that's the bling or a T-shirt or a hat, your favorite college football team or pro team. And whoever brings me the most subs by July 15th, so time is running out, Zoe's going to supply that for us. So, Alonzo, what we wanted to talk about here, what you mentioned on the phone, and I'll bring it up right now, and you can take it in whatever direction you want. So over the last couple of days, I have ranked the coaches in the SEC. I've ranked the coaches in the Big Ten, and I'm going to get to the other coaches' rankings in the other conferences. So it kind of brings us to an article that I see that's online today. So there's a Dodd Trophy that's given to the Coach of the Year in college football. What I think is really stupid is that they predetermine a list of 20 people. So you got 130 FBS coaches. You've got like 70 in Power 5, and they're going to predetermine what 20. That's like saying before the NFL season that only these 10 guys can win the MVP. It's almost like the Heisman vote, where there's a predetermined list of candidates to a certain extent. I always thought that was idiotic to have a watch list. We don't know who the best coach is going to be.
That's why they do that.
The best year, but Mark Richt is one of the 20. So
okay.
I know that you've caught a lot of flack and you've been into a lot of back and forth about Mark Richt recently. So what are you hearing from people?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, man, I feel like I'm not a blind fan. Okay, we got a lot of fans out here. You can feel how you want to feel about the guy. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I look at he has a losing record against winning coaches, especially when it comes to championship coaches, right? I'm still upset with the favoritism that he showed to his son. you know, by giving his son a quarterback coach of one of the most prestigious universities in the country. You know, just handed it to him without him earning it. So I call out things like that. I also call out things like people tell me, well, you need to give him time. He don't have his players in. And I say, okay, he had his players at Georgia. Kirby Smart took his players to a national championship. You know, so I catch flack because I speak the truth first off, because it's not like I'm making up these things. I speak the truth, and then people don't want to hear it, or people just want to be, okay, it's Coach Richt, so give him a chance. He's been coaching for over 30 years. I mean, when you have that type of experience, it shouldn't take you as long. It shouldn't take you that long to be able to do what someone hasn't been coaching for 30 years do. Your experience alone should be able to get you over the hump on some things. I also state that he got fired for a reason. You know, whatever the reason may be, he got fired for a reason, and the fire definitely seemed to have helped out Georgia because they went to a national championship. You know, so it's not that I don't like Coach Richt, it's that I feel like I just don't know if he has the toughness in order to be the coach at University of Miami. And he kind of proved that to me when he kicked the field goal against Clemson. You know, in that game when you're on a goal line and the game is over with, go for the touchdown. Show me some toughness. So those are things that I question about Coach Richt, and a lot of fans don't like you questioning, you know, their coach until they feel like it's time for you to question them. You know, so those are. Do I feel like he's a top 20 coach in college football? Yeah, he's a top 20 coach. Do I feel like he's a top 5 coach in the ACC? Yeah, he might be the second best coach in the ACC probably. It could be between him and Fournette out of Virginia Tech, or it can be out of the coaching and Duke. I like him, David Cutcliffe. He does a lot with way less. You know, I feel like he's a national championship coach. Well, he's been a head coach for 17 years and hasn't won it yet. So I don't think he's a national championship coach. You have to win it. You have to at least play in it. So I'm the type of person that when you've been coaching that long, I need to see results faster. And people get mad at me for saying that, but I'm not a University of Miami. I don't work for University of Miami. I don't work for Canes All Access. I work for Alonzo 1219 and U family. Love it or hate it. You know, I give you my passion. I give you my truth. Might not be everyone's truth, but I give you my truth. And if people disagree with my truth, I don't mind. But don't tell me I'm wrong when you can't state anything to tell me that you're right.
Yeah, so Zoe, you did too good of a job of covering some ground there, because I had a lot of questions for you and you pretty much covered it. Because I think one of the questions is you're not necessarily questioning what he's done win-loss wise at Miami, because of course he takes over.
Actually, I am questioning some of that. Sorry.
Okay, well, if I'm going to clarify at least my position, and you can clear me up on this one, he's only had 2 shots thus far, and he's pretty much improved the program year to year over what was there. And that's not saying a whole lot with Al Golden on the sideline, but he did improve it to 9 wins, then to 10 wins, and we'll see what happens beyond that. But you're questioning some things that you see in the program with some decisions he's made with family and with the offense and with some things that you've been able to detect that haven't necessarily backfired yet, but there's indication that they may not be the best choices.
Exactly. I mean, you look at, all right, and I say this and people get mad at me. Did he improve or did the defense improve? You know, when Coach Richt took over the University of Miami football program, the main thing that everyone was saying, including Sports Center, College Football, Live, all those stations were saying that now they're going to need a few years for the defense to catch up with the offense, because the offense is already pretty good. Brad Kaya was a Heisman candidate. He was ACC Co-Rookie of the Year or runner-up to guy at Clemson, Deshaun Watson. Our offense was spectacular. He had just threw for over 500 yards against Florida State in Tallahassee. I think it was like 515 yards. Duke Johnson had been breaking all type of records behind that so-called malign offensive line that they had. All of those things. And the reason why Al Golden got fired, and the reason why everyone know he's got fired, is because they felt like he would not fire Mark D'Onofrio and get a better defensive coordinator. So our defense was horrible, and we could not hold leads. We couldn't sustain leads because our defense was so bad. So why did that change in 1 year where we went to get 3 freshman linebackers, started 3 freshman linebackers, Coach Richt's first year? And the defense was the worst part of the defense, but the defense has been carrying us for the past 2 years, and our offense has been maligned. And now since he said, and I don't like those things too, he put the offensive line thing out there. And then everybody jumps on how bad the offensive line is. Before he said that, no one was talking. When Kyer freshman year, no one was talking about how bad the offensive line was because Duke Johnson was breaking records. But now we're talking about how bad the offensive line. I felt like he threw them under the bus by saying that. And those are just things that I don't feel like you should do, especially when you're trying to implement a new system. One more thing I don't like is when he says that, and I've brought this up on a few occasions, about a perfect pocket. You know, when my quarterbacks get a perfect pocket, then they can complete better passes. If everything was perfect in life, I could do a better job at anything that I do. You know, there's no such thing as a perfect pocket in football at all. So you're not going to get a perfect pocket, you know. So it's just little things like that. As me being an adult in the working field, when you call certain people out and don't hold everyone accountable publicly, but you hold certain people accountable publicly, I look at that as being slighting how hard the other guys work. And I just don't look at it as being fair. So I'm going to call you on that. Like I said, I don't work for University of Miami. I work for Alonzo. And so people are going to like me or don't like me, but I'm not going to be that guy who just agrees with people so people agree with me or so people like me. I'm going to be 100% authentic, and like it or hate it. It is what it is.
We've got Alonzo 1219 on the line talking Miami football. And what I like about that take is that's pretty much a similar approach that I take to this. So I think you got those people that want everybody to like them, and so that they kind of go along with their fan base. Well, I don't have a fan base here because I got a zillion fan bases, so somebody's going to be mad at me. But you could do it and take the easy road and love the Canes and love everything they do. And I know that you love them, but loving and holding accountable go hand in hand if you truly love your team and love your program. But you could take the easy way out and just say, hey, everything's great. And take the easy way out. Or you've got those other people online who basically just say, I'm going to stir up controversy. So my opinion's not truly my opinion. It's just what I know is going to stir things up. And you don't do either one. You just call it straight as you see it. Now, when it comes to Mark Richt, I think you make a pretty fair assessment in regards to if you look at his track record at Georgia, at a program that we know has not been elite, top of the line, Alabama, Ohio State, et cetera, we know, but just below that. And they've got the resources, the money, the recruiting base, all that to do exactly what they did last year. And that's reach the height of college football. And he just didn't quite get them there. He had a really good run, very consistent run, kept winning 10 games. But as you mentioned, kept typically losing to coaches that pulled through in the big games. So to rank him as a top 20 coach in college football, I think is extremely fair. You cannot rank him based on what he's accomplished to date with Urban Meyer and Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney and Jimbo Fisher and a few others. He's below that level. That's what gets me.
And that's what upsets me. And that's what I look at Dabo, and he took him 7 years to win actually about 8 years, 9 years to win at Clemson, and went to back-to-back national championships and could have won both. It took him. Did he go? I mean, might have went to 3. I know they played Alabama 3 straight times and played them to the wire 3 straight times. You look at Urban. Urban won at Florida, then left Florida, and then won at Ohio State. You look at Nick Saban. He won at LSU. He was great at Michigan State. He won at Alabama. Even Les Miles was able to win with Nick Saban's leftovers. I mean, and he was not a good coach, but he was able to at least win it with Nick Saban's leftovers. And we have a guy that's been coaching football for over 30 years. And to me, it's like I say, I'm just being 100% me. To me, it's a little bit of stubbornness about it. it's like it's my way or the highway. And how do we get better as a program when there's no one there to challenge you in life? If you agree with me and everything, you're my friend, and you agree with me on everything, that I would think you're my enemy because you're trying to set me up for failure. And it seems as if, like I say, fans are kind of funny because they'll turn on you at a drop of a dime. The reason why I don't want him fired is I feel like he can grow. I'm not gonna all of a sudden be here today and then tomorrow fire him, he sucks. But you weren't screaming that yesterday. You need to look at the whole picture, see what he's doing with the program. The offense has not improved. I mean, it's improved against bad teams, but hasn't improved against good teams. I mean, that's what I look at the whole overall picture. We got a better record. Well, how much better was our schedule? Did our schedule line up for us better? You know, we were getting the same type of classes under Al Golden. We got a whole bunch of players in NFL that played under Al Golden. So we can't say that we need better players. And Al Golden got players littered in NFL. He has a few Pro Bowlers in NFL. So I mean, Flowers and all those guys, Duke Johnson. I can't name all of them. I can go. You can go down the line with players that he has in NFL. So when I question Richt, is because of what I seen, me living in SEC East Country in Columbia, South Carolina, what I seen him do at Georgia. The way I seen South Carolina pass Georgia with Steve Spurrier having less time at South Carolina and able to pass Georgia, beating them on the field and being able to beat them in recruiting in a school like South Carolina, which Georgia is one of the most fertile recruiting grounds in the country. And he kept top picks. But for some reason, he could not win. Kirby Smart's second year at Georgia, he's in a national championship game. You can't tell me there's not something to that. I'm sorry. People don't like what I'm saying, and I'm not going to apologize for that. But I'm just speaking what I see.
So I think I'm going to take one thing that you mentioned there, and I'm going to give a couple examples to it. So nobody's going to win a national championship at Boise State. They're going to be really good, and they've produced a long line of coaches now here in the last 20 years that have gone on to do really good things and done really good things there. But for Boise State to win a national championship. But so we see Chris Peterson do what he did at Boise State. Now he's getting the chance at Washington. But Mark Richt going to Miami, he wasn't at a Boise State. He wasn't at a place where it's impossible to win the whole thing. You can win big, but you can't win the whole thing. He was at that place, and he just didn't get it done. Tom Herman, the jury's out and will be out for a while. I don't think we can judge him yet. This is just going to be his second year at Texas. But here's a guy that, again, was at a school where you're not going to win the whole thing at Houston. But he maxed out about as much as he could. Now he's got the big job, and we'll see what he does at Texas. Mark Richt already had that big job for 15 years, and he did a lot of good, and he was very consistent, but just wasn't able to win what was the best conference most of that time.
He couldn't win, and he was in the worst. He was in the worst side of that conference. Florida dominated that conference for so long because it was the worst side of that conference. Alabama hasn't been great for 15 years. I mean, I just look at it like I'm prime example. When was the last time Washington State was good, or they even got any type of TV time or anything? I'm talking about not Washington. We're talking about Washington State. What are the Washington State?
You're talking about the Cougars with Mike Leach.
When was the last time they were good?
Really good? Like compete for a national championship? Good? Never.
Okay, how good are they now?
Well,
they're very good. They're not national championship.
2025 team.
They're not national championship, but they're very. You have to play them to beat them. I believe they can give almost any team in the country a run for their money, and they don't have nowhere near the talent that University of Miami has.
True.
Nowhere near, and those are the things that I look at. How can that offense be so prolific with nowhere near the talent that the University of Miami offense has, but we continue to make excuses for our offense? And I'm not buying it from a guy who's making $5 million a year. I'm just sorry. I have to hold you accountable before I hold the kids accountable. I got to hold you accountable because you're the guy steering the ship. You know, and like I say, I mean, people can get upset with me, mad. You know, I probably get some people unsubscribe to the channel today because, you know, they're such, you know, a Rick apologist. I'm not a Rick. I am a University of Miami Hurricane fan. I am not a Mark Richt fan. Okay. I put University of Miami Hurricanes first. I put the players second. I put the coach third. And the reason why I put coaches third is because they can leave and still get paid. Butch Davis did that. So I put the players, I put the team, the school first, and the players second. And then I put the coach because I feel like Miami's never had no coaches ever came to Miami as a great coach. Name me one that came to Miami as a great coach. Every coach that came to Miami won a national championship. Jimmy Johnson wasn't even considered, you know, a top 30 coach when he came from Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so everybody was homegrown. I wasn't the most excited to get Coach Rick. I wanted Mario Cristobal. I'll let people know that I didn't want him. I will let people know that. I'm not gonna hide behind, you know, he's saying this because he didn't want him. No, I didn't want. I also tell people I didn't want Manny Diaz. I complained way more about Manny when we got Manny Diaz than I did about Rick because I looked at what Manny Diaz did in Texas and I just overlooked at what he did in Arkansas. I looked at what he did in Texas. I got ate up on Facebook because I did not want him at all, not even a little bit. I didn't want him. Actually, I wanted what's the guy's name? Coach Cool to be our defense coordinator. I didn't want to be our defensive line coach. I felt like he'd have been a better defense coordinator than Manny Diaz. Oh, how times have changed. By week 4, I was changing my mind on Manny Diaz. I've done that a lot in life. As my brother, if I don't like something about you and I feel like you're trash and then you prove me wrong, I will come and admit it, bro. That boy can do that, you know? So it's not personal with me. It's about what you do on your job or on the field or whatever. I'm the same way at my job. Don't take it personal. If I say I'm a welder, if I feel like if I look at your welder and your welder's trash, I'm gonna tell you, man, that's trash. You can get better. You know, and you get better, I be like, now you can weld. You know what I mean? I don't take it personal. It's just I want to know what you can do, and our offense have taken steps back. People look at numbers. Some numbers sometimes lie, man. Numbers sometimes lie, and I don't mean to keep going on and on, but the ACC championship game, when you had the opportunity to show that you were a tough guy, that you were not afraid, you kicked the field goal so you wouldn't get shut out. It wasn't like you was on a 20-yard line, or even a 10-yard line, 15. You were on goal line. You were like between the 5. You were like on a 4 or 3-yard line. And instead of going for the points, and I would rather get shut out. I would have rather got shut out. Those 3 points hurt me to this day. I hate those 3 points. It's the worst thing that could have happened was them 3 points.
Okay, so I hate to agree with you again, but again, I'm going to give my slant on what you just said. So you're losing 38-0. You can't win the game. I hate it when I see sometimes, not so much in today's football, but we used to see it a lot 20 and 25 years ago, where teams would have a shot at winning and they would still play conservative field position. Let's say there's 7 minutes left in the game and they're losing 21-0. Well, you've got a shot. It's that much, but you've got a shot. And if it's 21-0, and on 4th and 10, they're punting from their own 15-yard line, and I'm thinking you're giving up. Who cares if you lose 28-0? You're down 3 scores with 7 minutes left. You've got a chance. You can kick onside kicks. You can score quickly, but you don't want to lose 28-0. Who cares? Go for it. Do something. In that situation, you're right. If they would have been out at the 40-yard line and you got a really good kicker and shoot, he can hit a 49-yarder or a 55-yarder, and it's 4th and 18, okay, fine. Just put the points on the board. But you know what? You at least send a message to Clemson to say, yeah, you beat the hell out of us tonight, but we're going to show that going forward, we're gonna fight you. So we're sticking it to you on 4th and inches, whatever it was, down near the goal line. We're gonna punch you in the mouth. We're gonna play till it's double zeros. We're gonna play hard, and we're gonna go for it.
I would have rather gotten shut out.
Yeah.
I would have rather gotten shut out. It is. I was telling somebody it was equivalent to me as a guy taking your girlfriend from you and then buying you a drink. Like, you know, I mean, hey man, you know what I'm saying? I know I took your girl, but I'm gonna give you this Heineken, you know, to make you feel a little bit.
I like that.
I'm not feeling better. And that to me is the most conservative, scary call. Like, we just got shut out by Clemson a few years back, and I don't want to be on that same side. So, no, it's worse because we got shut out with a lame duck coach who knew he was getting fired. The team had quit on him, and he was Al freaking Golden. No disrespect to Al Golden, but it was Al Golden. You are Mark Richt. You are a household name. And you kicked the field goal on the goal line when the game was over anyway. I'm those things like that. That's just not. That's not. And I'm not saying he can't change, but and like I say, if they turn around and go 12-0 and play in the playoffs and we get beat or something like that, or you know what I'm saying, something like that. Hey, I would gladly come on here and say I was wrong about his future, but I'm not wrong about his past. I'm sorry, I'm not wrong about his past. I'm not, because it's there for you, not just in black and white, but videotape and everything. You can go look at all of it. It's a reason why they didn't want it. You don't just get fired from your job when you are considered a great coach or a great manager or whatever. They don't just fire you, but usually something has to happen, like a scandal or something.
Yeah, and with Mark Richt, we know that there was no scandal, and that's one of the things that you can probably rest easy at night about, is that most likely, don't hold me to this, most likely, we've seen a lot of good guys in the past, and they really weren't good guys, but I think it's been a long, long time with Mark Richt. I think he's proven to be a solid guy who's running a good program. So I would be surprised by that. But I think they got to a place at Georgia, Zoe, where they were like, okay, we're tired of finishing second in this division. Yeah, we go 10-2 or we go 9-3, and we usually win our bowl game, but it's a bowl game that nobody cares about. And we keep doing this, and we're finishing number 11, number 8, number 13. And we think we can push this thing through and get the guy that can get us there.
I'm trying to look in the chat. That's what I'm doing.
And right so that's probably what marked the end for Mark Richt there at Georgia. Want to remind everyone, and people are going to get mad at me most likely because we've only got about 10 minutes left in our window, and I'm talking Alabama football at 7:30 Eastern time, and we could talk all night on this, and we've got up to 50 people watching now, and they'll want to talk Canes. But I have long been a defender of Mark Richt. Let me give it another slant. I've been a long defender of Mark Richt in terms of if he was punching a clock somewhere or had a job where being good at your job was good enough, like if he was selling insurance and they had a staff of 20 and he was the fourth best guy, you would be like, oh, okay, he's solid. We know what he's going to give us. Keep working for us. Keep doing it. That's great. But you're never going to win the awards, and you're never going to be considered. You're the top sales guy. You're the guy. And so that's kind of what he's done his whole career. So when you're paying a guy like a Les Miles, when Les Miles got fired, I said the same thing. And people were saying, well, he's doing a nice job. He keeps going 8-4, 9-3. Well, he's not paid to go 8-4 and 9-3.
Exactly.
He's like a top 3 paid coach in the country. He needs to be contending for national championships most of the time. No, you can't do it every year, but most of the time you're competing for the conference. Therefore, you're competing seriously for the conference. I know technically they competed for the conference last year, but we saw the disparity in the championship game. But you've got to have your team right there. If you're going to be paid top level, then you need to deliver top level results. But I would say, Zoe, that I appreciate your analysis of the indicators that you don't like seeing, but he has taken whatever it was, 6 wins before he got there and made it 9 and then 10. So
I don't look at that, though.
So we'll see what the facts are.
I think it's unfair to look at that, because when Al Golden took over the program, Nevin Shapiro thing was right there. You know how many recruits we lost and how many things that we couldn't get. Just that Nevin Shapiro scandal went on. It went on for 5 years, 4 or 5. It went on for the last year of Al Golden's year is when they finally was coming off probation and able to get scholarship. The year after, actually the year after that. You know, the year after that, Mark Richt first year we couldn't get full scholarship still. So I look at all that as well, and plus I look at the stubbornness of Al Golden not wanting to fire Mark Denarfield, because if he'd have fired Mark Denarfield and got a defense coordinator, he'd never lost his job. James Coley over in Georgia right now recruiting his butt off in Georgia, and we had him as our offensive coordinator, and we let him go. We let him go. We let a guy who ran our offense great. And like I say, I keep looking at this. I look at how can your son be our quarterback coach and you say things are being done fairly? Every time they ask him a question about John Richt, he says, "Oh yeah, I get to see my grandkids every night." I don't care about you getting to see your grandkids. No disrespect. I want to see about our quarterbacks getting better. You know, his beautiful wife. I got a beautiful wife. Okay, we all got beautiful wives. I'm pretty sure you got a beautiful wife. Okay, I want to know about what's going on the football field. What's going on with my quarterbacks? Since your son is our quarterback coach, who would not, and I repeat myself, would not be the quarterback coach of not one Power 5 team in college football. Not be the quarterback coach. No college Power 5 team in college football would John Richt be a quarterback coach. And that rubs me the wrong way. It does, because what qualifies him to be the quarterback coach at the University of Miami? Like I say, people will hate me for speaking it, but it's not like I'm not saying with everybody. I'm not cursing. You know what I want? I'm going to say this, I know we got to go. You know what I wanted to do when I got on YouTube? I looked up to a few people. I looked up to Kane Shays, Unc Nasty. I looked up to him. I actually looked up all about the U83, even though I used to always get on him because I loved his passion. Birdman. What I wanted to do was do it with my passion and the way they did it without cursing, with learning how to articulate myself a little bit better to where I can do it and be 100% real to myself and not lose myself, but do it respectfully, not call coaches names, not belittle them, not talk down to them, spit on their name, none of that. Just bring facts and bring it respectfully. And that's how I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it that way without saying he's garbage or he needs to. I didn't want to do it or curse him out or talk about his family and do things like that other people did. I wanted to be able to be objective and be 100% real and not be fake, whether you like me or not.
Hey, Zoe, I'd like to hit 2 comments here because I've got a take on 2 of these. Lamar Stevens joins in with he says you can't go 8-4, 9-3 all the time with a constant top 10 recruiting classes and basically 10 future Pro Bowlers on your team all the time, as he did at Georgia. Now, the 8-4, 9-3, Lamar, if you want to look that up, it's a little bit better than that. That was kind of the basement. 8-4 was pretty much Mark Richt's basement, and he jumped up with a lot of 11-1s and some 10-2s and some of those. So that's a little undercutting what he accomplished there. But I get the point there. Georgia's churning out NFL impact players, not guys that are the 53rd guy on the roster, impact guys. And they're getting the recruiting classes in, and he's just not doing it. Now, Ryan mentions here, and I think I would like to go year by year and look at it, and I will at some point because I've got a different take on this. Ryan Mell says there are only 3 things in life that are certain. Number 1, death. Number 2, taxes. Number 3, Mark Richt losing to under 500 teams with a superior team. Now, I know that happened last year against Pitt. I know that happened against Pitt last year.
I'm sorry.
But actually, you like that one, Zoe, don't you?
That's funny. Oh, man.
I actually have a different take on that, Zoe, because I think the truth is more like this. What is the mark of a great coach? Yes, that he takes the superior talent out there and he doesn't get upset. Sure, week after week after week. But you know what Mark Richt has almost never done? I'm sure he's done it at some point in his career. But basically, every time the other team lined up with equal talent or a little bit talent, the mark of a great coach is that sometimes he takes lesser talent and overcomes that and wins those games. It seemed like Mark Richt was always losing the games when the other team was just as good or a little bit better. He never got his team to play over its head to win those games. And I think if you look through his record, you'd see that.
He had him to play down to the competition a lot too. One thing that I'm not, don't quote me on this, but quote me on it because I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to look it up. But someone told me that they asked Nick Chubb a question this year about his senior year at Georgia. You know, they played for the national championship. He said this was the first year he felt like the team really went out there to try to win a national championship in his 4 years at Georgia. This is what someone told me. He said, I'm going to have to go look it up. But if he said that, that speaks volumes to me.
Yeah, for as hard as all those guys play at that level of football, and even the lower levels, they're just not as talented. You know what a grind it is to play football. I only played through high school, but it's a grind. You're throwing up in August. You're playing 2-a-days. It's a tough, grueling sport. So no aside to certain programs and certain teams and certain players because they're all working hard. They're almost all working hard. There's a few guys here and there loafing it. Maybe at wide receiver during some running plays and whatever, but everybody's grinding. But there's almost that that little difference between, hey, we know we're good, we're playing real hard, we're working hard, but 9-3 is fine, and we're gonna lose a few games, and that's fine. We win most of them. We're really talented, and we're working hard. We're hitting the weights. We're doing what we need to do. Versus that kind of Nick Saban. We don't expect anything but excellence, perfection.
And that's what I wanted at my coach, though. Steve Spurrier, I don't care what nobody's saying. I can't stand the Gators. Oh, my gosh, I hate them. But one thing I can say is I can guarantee you, even though he only won one national championship at what did he win? Did he win one or two? He won one. I can guarantee you every year they thought they was going to win. Every year they had the attitude we're going to win. And that's what you don't have to win every year. The team takes on the personality of their coach. Just like any job takes on, if you get new management at your job, your whole company's going to take on the personality. They're going to either weed out the one, then they're going to take on the personality. So if your department manager is a goofball and likes to have fun, or the plant manager is goofball, then everybody's going to end up having fun. There's going to be a few. If he's a tight butt, then everybody's going to be a tight butt. They take on the personality. That's the same thing. And these are impressionable young men. So if they feel like the coach don't feel like we're going to win, then they're going to end up feeling the same way. And that happened for years at Georgia. I mean, you think about those guys, like I say, he going from getting fired 2 years ago to them coming this close, to them choking their way a national championship because they should have won it. And if they would have won it, what would be said about if Georgia would have won that national championship 2 years removed from Mark Richt with all of his same players? How can you argue that? I don't care what nobody says. You can't argue it. I don't. Whatever. People argue all they want to. Okay. Well, it was the different system. Okay. Well, that system was better.
See, Zoe, this is where I kind of argue this one, because in 2012, when Mark Richt had that Georgia team right there at the doorstep to beat Alabama, go to the national title game, most people believe that they would have stomped Notre Dame. I don't know that I can put that at Mark Richt put them in position to win that game. They were playing the best team in the country. They might have been the best team in the country. They were neck and neck. They were 1-1A. They were that good, almost like what we watched in last year's national championship game. Mm-hmm. And if we would have had a 14 playoff, Georgia would have been there. But anyway, they didn't have that opportunity. But I do have the philosophy and the approach that the coach can only put the players in position to win. He can't go out there and make the catch or the tackle or whatever.
I agree with you, but you know what I can argue to that point. He wasn't calling plays then. He wasn't calling plays in 2012. And to be honest with you, if that didn't happen so few and far between, then he would have still been at Georgia. If that wasn't an anomaly, then he would have still been at Georgia. They felt that was it. They went 2 more years or 3, and it got worse.
True.
And that's just how I look.
Yeah, they weren't Clemson or Ohio State knocking on the door every year. Yeah.
It was an anomaly. And he wasn't calling plays. And he didn't have his son as a quarterback coach. And I'm still mad about that. I don't care about his quarterback coach. You know, Thomas Brown wasn't the offensive coordinator. We have two offensive coordinators. Our wide receiver coach and our running back coach is co-offensive coordinators. Where do we do this at? I mean, this is like me surrounding myself with guys who are going to just totally agree with me, and I just have a problem with that. I actually brought in a few guys to help me out with the channel that disagree with me that would help me out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, serious, because I'm not right all the time, nowhere near. And my reason is because I'm passionate. So usually when you're real passionate, a lot of times you're gonna be right more than you are wrong, but you're gonna be wrong a lot when you're kind of passionate. So I know I'm wrong a lot. But if you want me to be wrong on this here, then Coach Rick is gonna have to do a better job. And I don't want to hear, second year or whatever. I don't care about the third year. Okay. All right,
so the other person that's got to do a better job is me on Facebook here. So basically what we do here is that YouTube's the main deal, the main channel, and we get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments from a lot of good people that love college football on my YouTube channel as you talk college football on YouTube. I've just been playing around a little bit with the Facebook Live here in recent days, so we'll do it right, the Facebook part of this, but basically I just set up the camera and just let her fly, and it just basically records me sitting here like a knucklehead looking at you talk the whole time, and sometimes I'll flip it around and give a shot to the guest, but we'll get the Facebook Live down at some point. So anybody watching the Facebook Live, this is just to kind of get things rolling there, and I appreciate the comments and people watching on Facebook. But if you want the real deal, you come to YouTube and go to MarkRogersTV.com. But we will sort out the Facebook end of this at some point. But this is just kind of for fun with Facebook. So we got Alonzo1219, our guy Zoe, and you got to go to his YouTube channel. People watching on Facebook as well, Miami Football. Go to YouTube and look up Alonzo1219 to check out Miami Football.
I'm looking at Bull Gator. I was just looking at Bull Gator comment. You said Mark,
beautiful. Yeah.
Said Mark is working on his tan.
This guy comments to the channel more than anybody, and he pulls out gems like that all the time. Yeah,
he started coming over to my channel, I guess, once I started, because I think he's been on my channel the last 2 or 3 weeks. He is out of control. Now, Country Boy told me, I told Country Boy to call me too, because he said I blocked him. I keep saying I didn't block him. He said, we all agree that coaches have to be on the same, he said something about coaches got to be on the same page. Yeah, they got to be on the same page, but you have to challenge each other as well. You got to challenge each other. You think about guys who in the foxhole, they go into war together. They challenge each other. I don't want nobody beside me who going to sit there and sing Kumbaya. I want you to fight with me. We can sing Kumbaya once we get out of this foxhole. I need you to help me.
So our guy Ryan here says that if Georgia would have won with Richt there, if they would have won the SEC 2 times every 5 years, he would still be there. That might be a little high, but I get the point.
They could have, though, because they were in the East.
In 15 years.
They were in the East. I mean, seriously. All right, Tennessee had a couple year span with T. Martin and Peyton Manning. Okay, give them that. Florida, when Florida was great, Tennessee was good. Okay, but Georgia was on the come. Okay,
sure.
When Florida fell off, Georgia was there for the takings, because Florida fell off and Tennessee fell off at the same time. Okay, Urban Meyer comes right in, and takes over the SEC East. All right. He leaves. Georgia got a vacuum again. They still can't do it. Right? Steve Spurrier goes to South Carolina. And I think Georgia was able to beat them like the first 2 or 3 years. And then Steve Spurrier ended up winning 5 out of 7 or something like that. 4 out of 5 or something like that. Because he was there like 7 years. So he ended up beating them up. I think Nick Saban, Rick had the record on him at South Carolina, but to me, South Carolina shouldn't even been there with Georgia. And those are 3 different coaches come to the SEC and win championship in the East. 3 different coaches win championships in the SEC East, and you can't. And I'm so, and with all the talent in Atlanta, oh my God, he had the most only team that had more recruiting fertile grounds than he did in the SEC East was Florida.
And
every other team that SECs.
And on the other end of the spectrum, think about the disadvantage at Missouri. And Gary Pinkel came into the East, and he won it twice in a row.
There we Missouri. Go. And both times, who was the coach at Georgia?
Yeah.
And is there more talent in Missouri than there is in Georgia? How does this happen? These are things, and like I said, these are things that I look at, and I'm like, you can't make this stuff up. And then fans get mad at me. Okay, all right, whatever. You can get mad at me all you want to, but when you get mad at me, debate it. Tell me I'm wrong. Are you going to tell me Missouri didn't win back-to-back SEC championships? Am I wrong about that? Why didn't Georgia win it? They're in a better recruiting ground. They're supposed to have a better coach with better talent, and Missouri wins twice in a row.
And I know one of those years for sure, they actually annihilated Missouri on the field, but then coming down the stretch, they blew the division. They had a lead. They blew 2 November games and blew the division.
Playing down. It's playing down. We got it. I don't want to make the other guys look bad on the other side of the field. Come on, man. Destroy the other guys on the other side of the field. Destroy them. I don't care. Beat them. That's one thing. When Jimmy John, I forgot what 10 game that was. We were winning, and he took his foot off the pedal, and we ended up losing. And ever since then, he said, I'll never do that again. And he ended up blowing every team he could blow. I don't care if he played South Missouri, Oklahoma State, or Fayetteville.
I think that was the Frank Reich game against Maryland.
Yeah, that's that Maryland game. Yeah, we were winning by like 28 points.
Yeah.
And they came back and beat us because he took his foot off the pedal. He said he would never do that again. He learned from that.
Ryan backed me up here. The season I was referring to, 2014, Georgia beat Missouri 34-0 head-to-head. That's how much better than they were. But then they blew 2 games in November to give them the division, even though they won the head-to-head 34-0.
So whose fault is that? I mean, come on. How do you do that? Are you not hungry? I mean, how do you... And stuff like that scares me. Those things scare me. It's like, how much talent are we going to have, and how are we going to squander it?
All right, we got Alonzo 1219 on the line. Please subscribe to his YouTube channel right there. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. Like and comment as well. And you guys have done a great job at that. I have mentioned this the last couple of weeks. 1,300 comments the first half of 2017. 17,000 comments the first half of 2018. Thanks to guys like Alonso, and thanks to you on the chat as well. All right, so we're going to talk some Bama football.
Have they been beating me up on those 17,000 comments?
So you've got the closing line. Oh, they also say that you're awesome. There's a little bit of both. I think you're about 90-10, 80-20 maybe. Good.
Oh, beat me up. I'm gonna say I don't mind getting beat up though. I don't mind them. I don't mind them beat. I love all the family, man. So since I got the closing remarks are, excuse my French, get your asses over here and subscribe to Mark Rogers channel. Come win the chain. Win one of these beautiful chains that Michelle makes. Get the subscribers up. And this is not going to be the only channel that we this is not going to be the only time that we do this for Mark Rogers. We're going to do it one more time this year, and we might do a national championship one because I really want him to be there for that national championship game. So what I want done with Mark Rogers is I want the voice of college football to own college football. So that's what we need to do. We need to get over here and subscribe to my brother, guy who gave me the opportunity to do this. So y'all get over here and subscribe, man. Let's get him up. Let's get him up. I like to see him at least 5,000 before the season starts. Let's see if we can do that. Come on, family.
All right, my man.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share on Twitter. That's what y'all can do. Share on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Share his videos. Share them. That's another read where you can get him out there. If every last person shares this video, it ain't got to be this video. Shares this one, the Alabama one, whatever. And y'all tell y'all fan base to go watch him and subscribe to his channel. Watch how fast it comes up. Or I'm gonna make him do Ohio State videos. Y'all ain't gonna be see none of us no more.
So every so often I go on a tangent about something and somebody tells me on here that I'm preaching. And they did this the other night. I went off on something, but this nobody preaches like this guy. Right
I
here.
preach
There's
all
some
the time.
preaching right there.
I preach all the time, and they don't like me for doing it sometimes. I had a guy one tell me, stop begging for subscribers. Why do you think we do this? Y'all think we do this we do it because we having fun. We enjoy doing it. Don't get me wrong. But everybody wants to see success. If you don't want to see success, then you're probably living at home in your mother's basement doing nothing.
Yeah, you don't want to be talking to nobody.
Exactly. We want success in life. I want success in life. I want to pull aside Mark Rogers in my brand new 3500 Chevrolet Silverado with 24-inch rims and big tires. Mud tires.
That just rolls off your tongue. So you've thought about that.
Oh man, custom concepts out of they're in where are they at? They're up there in Wisconsin. Custom Concepts is in Wisconsin. They put the big mud tires on the big 24-inch by 14-inch rims on a big Chevrolet 3500s with the big lifts on it. Oh my, those are beautiful trucks. Yes, I want one bad. Can't afford it though, more. Maybe if I get 100,000 subscribers, I'm gonna give you one.
You and me. You and
but I love you, my brother. You be good, man. And I'm gonna let you get to the Alabama guy, whoever he is. I'm gonna debate one of the guys one day. I'm not gonna debate Alabama guy right now though, because all you gotta do is say championships like I used to do, and I can't argue with him.
It's easy to do. You know, you can't argue with a Yankees fan. They just say 27. They don't know anything.
Yep, I'm a Yankees fan. Went to Lou Garrett 151. Went to Lou Garrett 151. That's middle school I went to. Lou Garrett 151 in the Bronx.
All right.
Get the Alabama guy on, man. Love you guys all day, every day. Represent this. You, Wholesome Holloway. Love what you did over here. Glad you got him on the Wholesome one. And continue to grow, Mark. We love you, man. Appreciate it.
All right. So on Facebook, again, appreciate you hanging on despite just looking at me the whole time. And we'll do this right on Facebook at some point soon. We'll do it right on Facebook and make it watchable. For you on YouTube, we're shutting down right here. We're coming back with Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama, talking the Tide. So join us right there. Zoe, you have a great night, man. Stephen M. Smith. That's the guy. What a name to tell him, Stephen, they want his name back. And if you hear the guy talk, it fits perfectly. Believe me, Zoe. I'm out there. I'm out to watch that one. I ain't gonna comment, but I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch that one. Man, you be good, man. Tell Stephen M. I said what's up. Tell Stephen. All right, Mark. We'll see you guys soon. All right.